Hello, guys, and welcome to the new weekly disclosure, the new version of my weekly news report, which comes, you could say, with a new format, but it won't change that much compared to what we used to do a couple of years ago. The last time I did a weekly news report was probably I would say less than a year. Um, Everything has been going well. The website is running smoothly. I was able to fix all the problems that we were having. So, for the time being, the current version of the website is working perfectly. We still need to do or build a new version because we need to compete, obviously, with the biggest platforms out there. We want to add lots of features, including subtitles in multiple languages. I'm thinking 5+ languages, and give you different features like the ability for you to create your own playlist. Um, the weekly disclosure will usually be published on Mondays. This week, it will be published a bit late because I've been a bit busy. It's been a bit hectic. Actually, I'm recording this at 3 a.m. Um, Today is the 9th Wednesday here in Europe. So 2 days late. Tomorrow is my birthday, and I need to go to Lisbon in 4 hours. So a bit crazy. It is what it is. I have to do everything by myself. I don't have any employees. I don't have any help. But as things goes, uh, when it's like that, it's very rewarding to be able to fix all the problems that arise with having a website and creating content and all that. I want to thank all of you for keeping up with me, for having patience, for being loyal, for believing in what I do, and of course, believing in the cause. What else? Um, I guess that's about it. I just wanted to share with you that I'm very healthy. I'm back to my workouts. I'm fueling on the carnivore diet. I'm actually doing fasting every day. I usually fast for 16 or 18 hours, and I do 1 or 2 meals in 4 hours, only meat. Sometimes I do cheat a bit, but for the most part, I'm following the diet strictly. I'm also taking some supplements, some things here and there, considering that we're always getting poisoned. And that's about it. May God bless you. We always need your support. Please like our videos, subscribe, and share with your friends and family. We depend on you to be able to reach more people. Censorship is hitting us hard, but we don't care. It's been like that for years. It's never going to change. If anything, it's only going to get worse. But we're still here, giving up the fight, and we're not giving up. Again, God bless you, and please take care and don't lose hope. Much like what happened with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, arguably the most powerful and proficient human traffickers of the previous 3 decades, the trial to convict Sean Diddy Combs has ended up in a complete sham. The notorious member of the satanic cults that ruled the entertainment industry was acquitted Wednesday on racketeering and sex trafficking charges, the most serious charges he faced. Despite this, he won't yet walk free. The rapper was found guilty of lesser prostitution charges, and the judge denied him bail until his sentencing hearing, scheduled for October 3rd. Combs, 55, had faced a potential life sentence if convicted on the top charges in the sensational 2-month trial in Manhattan federal court that revealed twisted details about the mogul, including his infamous freak-offs, drug-fueled orgies in which he watched his girlfriends and employees have sex with prostitutes, sex slaves, and other celebrities. The verdict is the latest twist in the calculated downfall of a Harlem native who grew his Bad Boy Records label into an empire worth nearly $1 billion. becoming one of the music world's most recognizable figures.
Because my next guest just testified before a federal grand jury. He says he was in possession of a trove of digital evidence from Diddy's freak-offs and parties. His name is Courtney Burgess, and he says a friend gave him 11 flash drives that belonged to the late Kim Porter. And if you follow this story, you'll know that Kim Porter is Diddy's ex-girlfriend and the mother of 4 of his kids. On those drives, the witness says 8 videos featured 8 celebrities at Diddy freak-offs or parties, and that 6 were males, 2 were females. The drive also included a manuscript of an alleged Kim Porter memoir, a memoir that her 4 kids insist is fake. Courtney Burgess told his story on a podcast before he told the grand jury today, and after he told the grand jury, and I mean immediately after, he booked it over to my set, and he and his attorney talked to me. I should tell you that he was very limited in how much detail he could go into about his testimony. And because the 8 people in the videos, the 8 celebrities in the videos were allegedly victims of sex crimes, we know who they are, but we will not be naming them, famous or not. Here now is my conversation with Courtney Burgess and Ariel Mitchell, who's his attorney, beginning with the question of whether the participants in the video even knew they were being recorded. Out of those 8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women, how many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if they were. Right.
Sure.
Appear to be.
Let me rephrase it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appeared to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest, all.
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were, all 8 were victimized.
Yeah.
Meaning
Victim.
this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
And of those 8, how many seemed to be potentially minors?
2 to 3, possibly 3.
2 to 3. Also on the flash drives, Courtney, was what looked to be a manuscript written by, it appears to be a woman who had taken Kim Porter's private journals and had written a book. Is that accurate?
We don't know.
I
don't know how. Yeah.
I don't know how, who wrote it, put it together, but it was from her when I spoke to her.
What you received on the flash drives, was it the completed book or was it notes from Kim Porter that later were made into a book?
It was completed. It's only 60,
Okay.
it's only about 54 pages. It was
Sure, and in the beginning, it says, Kim made me promise that if something happened to her, I would make sure this book became public to the world. The way Sean moved, I knew that was a promise I would have to fulfill. Kim knew I was a woman of my word, and this book was going to make it to print. So it sounds like it is a woman who wrote up the notes from Kim Porter. Does that sound accurate?
It's how you read it, yes. I haven't even read the book.
Do you know who the woman is?
No.
And to be clear, he received it in its complete form. So I think just to make sure we have some clarity here, the manuscript that Mr. Burgess received was already in its complete form. It's not that he edited it or changed anything.
Got it.
He did give it to someone
Makes
else
sense.
who then edited it, but that's not how he received it.
It has been reported on alt media that a man named Francois Favre, age 58, died on June 29 after falling from his Paris apartment window The report claims that forensic authorities have ruled it a suicide, but his sister, Anne DuPont, disputes this and believes his death may be connected to a forthcoming, potentially explosive interview he planned to release. Francois Favre was supposedly a colleague of the famous doctor specializing in transgender transformations, Patrick Woolley. It was his joint photos with Brigitte Macron that formed the basis of the corresponding conspiracy theory that she used to be a man. I worked for 6 years at an American hospital in Paris, and Dr. Woolley was one of my close colleagues. He gave me a lot of information and documents about his patients, including the physical changes that Mrs. Macron underwent during her transgender surgery. The mainstream media has quickly and fiercely denied that this person even existed, claims it all originated from a website registered on June 25th, 2025, which published the narrative by July 1st, just 5 days later. They also claim that the video is a deep fake, featuring AI-generated speech and visuals, no blinking, unnatural tones, and highly suited facial features. They also claim that the location footage was repurposed from unrelated videos dating back to 2022. France Info reported that no such surgeon exists and that the entire story is false. I personally ran the video in question through AI detection software, and the results came out negative. However, this happened because the video is a mixture of real footage and AI. The video of the alleged surgeon is indeed AI. No blinking, polished face, and look at that hair, for Christ's sake. That said, to corroborate the story, we must look for legal or medical records confirming Francois Fabre as a French surgeon, time-stamped uploads before July 1st or before the narrative exploded, evidence that his sister, Anne DuPont, exists and spoke publicly, confirmed police reports about the fatal fall on June 29. No surgeon named Francois Fabre, age 58, appears in any reputable French medical records, professional listings, hospital staff pages, or mainstream news outlets. The only professional listing found was for a Dr. Jean-Marie Fabre, a plastic surgeon in Paris, clearly a different individual. Searches for Anne DuPont connected to a surgeon named Fabre or referenced in the French press revealed no credible matches. No records of statements, interviews, or media confirmations from a person by that name. No references surfaced to any incident on June 29, 2025 in Paris involving a fatal fall of a surgeon. Neither medical examiner reports nor police logs reported any such event. The hypothesis here is that we could be dealing with a hybrid operation, real actors plus a false script. I believe this is a psyop and a desperate move by the Direction Générale de la Sécurité Extérieure, French intelligence, to discredit the notion that Brigitte Macron is a man. Considering everything around the story, I do believe 100% the French First Lady is a dude, and this is a Hail Mary attempt to control the narrative by using this operation to discredit the evidence and muddy the waters. We live in seditious times when AI will be used more and more by the deep state to further cover up their shenanigans. We, as investigative journalists, have the responsibility to fact-check ourselves on every single story out there to avoid falling victim to counterintelligence.
What is happening today is the replacement of the white race, which the UN even admits to and calls replacement migration. This is, in fact, according to the UN's definition, a genocide, white genocide. Massive non-white immigration to all European white countries is textbook genocide. Genocide is simply the intentional attempt to get rid of an ethnic group or destroy its foundations of life, which is exactly what is happening to white Europeans in the world, as millions of hostile third world migrants are flooding their countries, changing their demographics rapidly. At the very same time, our establishment is promoting abortion, divorce, feminism, hookup culture, miscegenation, and homosexuality to lower the birth rates of the white Europeans. After the fall of the Third Reich, genocidal Kaufmann, Coudenhove-Kalergi, and the Houtham plans for Germany became the reality for all of Western Europe through the creation of the European Union and the UN. Not only Germany, but the entire white Western world has since then undergone attacks of unprecedented scales demographically that will lead to the indigenous European populations very soon becoming minorities in the homelands of their own ancestors.
Figures compiled for the programme suggest that in the next 20 years, the ethnic diversity of this city will change dramatically.
For the first time ever, the number of people who class themselves as white British is now a minority in London.
People who identify as white British citizens are now a minority in their capital cities.
White folks are on track to becoming, and I hate to say this, the minority in America.
A new report out by the government shows that by the year 2042, white Americans will no longer represent the majority of the population. That prediction is 8 years sooner than previously expected.
That the native French population would be finding itself in a rapidly decreasing minority.
Her kan etnisk norske være i mindretall om 20 år. I 2030.
Children from white families in Birmingham are set to become a minority group for the first time when this year's census is collected in March.
The latest census suggests white British born are now in a minority.
Census Bureau says white will be a minority.
Californians know a thing or two about demographic change. 70% of all state school pupils in Los Angeles are Hispanic.
For the first time in American history, non-whites will make up half or more of the next generation, according to a new study by the Pew Research Center.
The latest census suggests that white Brits are now in a minority in London.
And the fact that we are going to become a minority in our own country before 2050, well before 2050 for the younger people.
When the parent culture kind of dissipates, you're left thinking, well, what's going on?